Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Iron United, the Rich Farson. It's a very sad day for me, I must admit, with the news that Cheik has departed the mighty Claret and Blue for another London club in Crystal Palace. Personally, I'm disappointed that he's left to another London club. Like Crystal Palace, would have preferred for him to have gone abroad. I'm not convinced he wanted to leave. I think he genuinely loves the club. But yeah, it's a very big shame that he's left. Although I do believe it's in the best interests of the club, and we will all respect him, we all love him, and he does have a home in the East End of London. I'll never forget when we signed him. 24-year-old Anderlecht player. He'd obviously played centre back for them. He'd won titles there. He'd really staked his claim in that league. And when he came over, I'll never forget his debut. We lost 1-0 that day at the Bowling Ground against Spurs, but he was fantastic. He really was, and that was the first time I saw that, my God, we really do have a player. We really do have a player. And he had some great performances that season. I'll never forget his goal against Manchester United, a 1-1 draw at the Bowling Ground. He was in the box, back to goal, did two keepy up, he swiveled, turned and smacked it past the gear, and we drew that game. And for that performance, he went on to win individual performance of the season at our end of season awards. He scored a great header against Spurs at White Hart Lane. Cresswell put it in for him and he buried it past Lloris before Lloris even had a chance to blink. It was in the back of the net. And you know, he was just starting to form a little partnership with the fans, and the fans were starting to grow on him. And honestly, over time, he became my fans' favourite. He was honestly my favourite player at a point. In the 2015-16 season, when we finished 7th, he scored an absolutely fantastic header against Arsenal at the Emirates. Honestly, one of the best away days I think we've had in a very, very long time. Him and Reece Oxford were brilliant in the middle of the park. And you know, he had a symbolic salute that he always used to do. He'd do the crossed hammers and he'd do that lion celebration. You know, it was so typical of him, and he always had a smile on his face. He's always such a positive character at the club. Someone that I really feel we're going to miss in the change room, and I do believe that Crystal Palace have gained someone that's going to bring a very positive influence into the club. A big, strong centre midfielder who's hard in the tackle but fair, which is important. You know, moving into the 2016-17 season, our first season at the London Stadium, who was the first one to score? Kouyate, our lion from Senegal. 2 goals against Domzale in the Europa League. He was brilliant that night in qualifiers. Scored some important goals. Who can forget his goal against Swansea at the London Stadium, where he picked it up from Rob Snodgrass and just belted one into the bottom right corner. Fabianski was in goal at the time. Now he's obviously a hammer. But I have one story that really sticks out. And that a story that will just make me love Cheik for the rest of my life and for as long as I live. Senegal were playing South Africa in a friendly at the Orlando Stadium, which is about 40 kilometers away from where I stay. And I wasn't really going to go. My dad wasn't too keen on traveling into town. It's quite a dodgy area. But I just had this feeling inside of me that I had to go watch the game. I had to go watch. Diafra Sakho and Cheik were playing. Well, they were in the squad to play. I wasn't sure who was going to start, but I had to go, you know. So there I was, put on my West Ham shirt with my old man, and off we went. Cheik was on the bench that day, despite being Senegal captain. It was just a friendly. It was a Nelson Mandela Cup, so it was nothing too hectic. Sakho started, and about 20 minutes into the game, the substitute went out for their warm-ups, as one does, you know, a normal substitute routine. And I did the hammer salute to Cheik, because I was sitting about 20 meters away from where they're warming up, and he took the time to do it back to me, and I just thought that was quite special. He didn't need to do that. But then something unbelievable happened about 5-10 minutes into their warm-up. He just left their warm-up. The physio fitness trainer was going through their warm-up with the players, and he genuinely just left. He was with Pap Soare, Koulibaly, and he came over to me, saw me on West Ham shirts, and we just genuinely had a chat for about 5-10 minutes about football. We'd just beaten Liverpool a week before that, 3-0. When Lanzini, Nobes and Sakho scored, and we chatted about that game, about the manager, just about the club in general, and it was fantastic to catch up and just get a photo with him. Not catch up, what am I saying? Just to get a photo with him and you know, just to talk about the club that I love so dearly. But that wasn't it. He came on, and then after the game, obviously South Africa won the game 1-0, and they got their silver medal, Nelson Mandela silver medal. And there I was in the crowd, and he came right over to me and gave me his medal. You know, he didn't have to do that, but he literally came over to me and gave me his Nelson Mandela medal, which sits proudly in my room now. And Diafra Sakho came over as well, bless him. He came over and we had a chat, and you know, that just told me that this man is so humble. This man is a genuine human being that just wants to support the club, love the fans, and he was just a people's person. Put a smile on my face. I went home absolutely buzzing. We stayed in contact on social media, and that just pays testament to the man he was. What a fantastic character, as I've said earlier in the video, and someone we are going to miss. But as I said, it's in the best interest of the club that he's left, and I wish him all the best at Crystal Palace. I really do think they've gained someone. They needed someone in the middle of the park. They've missed out on players like that. They don't really have some big, robust centre midfielder that can break down play, go from box to box, score the odd goal. I mean, Cheik scored 12 goals for us in 120 odd appearances, which isn't too bad for someone who plays predominantly as a centre defensive midfielder. But yeah, that's the end of my video, guys. I hope you really enjoyed it. And yeah, I think all West Ham fans, whether you wanted him to stay or if you wanted him to go, we do wish him the best. But genuinely, his home is always going to be in the east end of London. God bless you, mon frère. And common you Irons. Not long to go to the season now. Keep following Irons United. Keep watching our videos. Keep liking, subscribing. And we'll have more content coming in the next few days, weeks. So, yeah. Common you Irons.